Lucy, not again. You're never gonna change.
Yeah, first of all, today. How could you ever say no Uzi gay? Four of them wrong, four of them say. Think I'm splitting an opera for you to debate. Don't want no one today. Pull out your tongue and you swallow it, babe. She lick on my back with a pride, babe. Diamond so wet like a swally bag. I'm more than a 40. If I pull out the tape with my porn. If I'm pointing, you porn, we porn. Can I go porn? I put diamonds everywhere that morning. Outlet broke now, morning. Brand new fire now, Florida. Don't hit, bro, no ignoring it.
Yo, so many questions, who do I ask? Where do I go from here? What are you smoking? Ain't no average girl, my one top tier. What is it now? I stood on business and I made it clear. I'm over it now, she done all this to make me look weird. If it's you or me that speak on you, I'll be deep in life, but I try not to reflect on life while free in the view. I've been lied to way too much, I don't even believe the truth. My vision was blurry and they didn't know how to clean it. I was happier when I was broke. It's a hard feeling.
Yeah, drinking dope, turn me to a superhero, yeah, hit that pill, turn me to a superhero, yeah, roll my 90s, turn me to a superhero, yeah, retro, don't trust me, I'm on that dope again, I'm on that flow again, switch up the flow again, yeah, fly in the parachute, gripping that pole again, I'm on that phone again, yeah. King in the carpet, gotta get paid, king in the streets, young mage, praying on the crowd, take to the grave, ain't having problems, I'm sipping the bar, shout out to Dallas, my is a star, get rich, better take you to the world, piss on your casket, shoot at your bra, do so nasty, roll you in a car, get graphic, put me in a car, I get your brand new roll in the mark, I put that brand new roll in your arm, ain't no slow, I'm still on hard, tennis braces and they came with the frost, triple links all the way up to your jaw, step on the sweat when I step on the bra, $2 a head, ooh that's the cheapest, I'm stacking these verses, like coupons, told you for number again, upper echelon, I get to stacking up, I'm untouchable, I get to represent, money multiple, I'm at the top of the charts, unapproachable, brave out of low, turbo the motor, tic-tac-toe, killing other vultures, selling up boats, do yogas, I deserve rewards, serving these boulders, 100 grand large, when I shop, that's a total, fill up the garage, I'm a mogul, ain't no facade, ain't no fugazi, I jump it off, I get paid, drop top rocks, I'm going crazy, I put a shot, smoking on haze, not trying to floss, Cartier shade, king in the carpet, gotta get paid, king in the streets, young mage, praying on the crowd, take to the grave, ain't having problems, I'm sipping the bar, shout out to Dallas, my is a star, get rich, better take you to the world, piss on your casket, shoot at your bra, do so nasty, roll you in a car, get graphic, put me in a car, I get your brand new roll in the mark, I put that brand new roll on your arm, ain't no slow, I'm still on hard, tennis braces and they came with the frost, triple links all the way up to your jaw, step on the sweat when I step on the bra.
Top nice feeling, how you be a hero.
You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but how words me to say. Shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, ricochet.
At this time, we ask that any parents and family members participating in senior night please meet by the gate on the track. Any parents or family members participating in senior night please report to the gate on the track. Thank you.
I made my move, and it was all about you. No, I feel so far removed. You are the one thing in my way. 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 You are the one thing in my way.
Good evening and welcome to Care Stadium for tonight's Ohio Athletic Conference men's soccer matchup between the Heidelberg Student Princes and your Mount Union Purple Raiders. It's senior night here at Mount Union, and we would like to take a moment to recognize our graduating seniors and thank them and their families for everything that they've given to Mount Union during their time here. Let's meet the seniors. Our first senior is Harrison Ahn. Harrison is a finance major with a minor in entrepreneurship from Gahanna, Ohio. He is accompanied tonight by his mother Kelly and his stepdad Brad and his father Tommy. Harrison plans on pursuing a career in financial analytics following graduation and is a member of the chess and lifting clubs and has been named to the Dean's List 5 times during his time at Mount Union. His favorite memory from his time at Mount Union was playing overseas and traveling with his teammates. The one thing that he will miss the most about being a Raider is the brotherhood with his teammates and being able to compete daily in the sport that he has played since he was a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, Harrison Ahn. Our next senior is Sam Falcone. Sam is a double major in finance and marketing from Westlake, Ohio. He is accompanied tonight by his parents Lauren and Tony Falcone. Sam plans to find a job close to home in either insurance or marketing following graduation, and is also a member of the chess club and has been named to the Dean's List and has been named Academic All-OAC during his time at Mount Union. His favorite memory from his time at Mount Union was competing against local teams in Italy and Greece, and the one thing that he will miss the most about being a Raider is being able to play the game that he loves with his best friends every day. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Falcone. Our next senior is Lucas Fields. Lucas is a psychology major with a minor in education from Westchester, Ohio. He is accompanied tonight by his mother, Cindy Fields, and his brother, Marcus Fields. Lucas plans on going to graduate school to get his master's degree in school psychology following graduation, and he is also a member of the Psychology Honor Society, Aspiring Educators, and he won the Chris Shue Award during his time at Mount Union. His favorite memory from his time at Mount Union was his first start against Bethany in his sophomore season when he got a clean sheet. And the one thing that he will miss the most about being a Raider is being so close to the guys on the team and spending the last few years playing the sport that he loves. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucas Fields. Our next senior is Cody Lumbey. Cody is a mechanical engineering major with a minor in mathematics from Sunbury, Ohio. He is accompanied tonight by his parents, Darren and Shelley, his brother, Caden, and his girlfriend, Anna Myers. Cody plans on getting a job as an engineer following graduation, and is also a member of the Baja Club here at Mount Union. His favorite memory from his time at Mount Union is going to Italy and Greece with the team last summer and eating his first chicken burger. The one thing that he will miss the most about being a Raider is spending time with his friends and playing the sport that he loves. Ladies and gentlemen, Cody Lumbey. Our next senior is Kabiona Ramadani. Kabiona is a theater major from Cleveland, Ohio, and he is accompanied tonight by his mother, Risa Maria, and his brother, Faraja Lambert. Cabiona plans to continue playing soccer as well as pursuing a career in videography following graduation. He's also played the lead in Mount Union's theater production of Urinetown and has won awards for his films during his time at Mount Union. His favorite memory from his time at Mount Union was scoring the game-winning goal against Calvin and the few and rare times that 6 a.m.s got canceled. The one thing that he will miss the most about being a Raider is the whole experience, from hanging out with his mates to soccer to performing and especially the exams. Ladies and gentlemen, Cabiona Ramadani. Our final senior of the night is Jeremy Scruggs. Jeremy is from Olmsted Falls and is currently in the physical therapy graduate program here at Mount Union, and he is accompanied here tonight by his father David, his stepmom Mary, and his grandparents Luis and David. Jeremy plans on becoming a licensed physical therapist following graduation. His favorite memory from his time at Mount Union was playing a role in his first win here against Bethany. And the one thing that he will miss the most about being a Raider is being a part of a competitive program with a great and welcoming group of guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Scruggs. We'd also like to take a moment to recognize our fifth-year seniors, Jordan Akins, Carter Hancock, Adam Calvitz, and Emilios Bennett. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Mount Union men's soccer seniors. And now let's meet the starting lineups. First for Heidelberg. Number 2, Devin Smith. Number 13, Gavin Wickham. Number 15, Zane Paul. Number 17, Enio Fothenos. Number 19, Zachary Clark. Number 22, Caden Reed. Number 24, Malachi Perkins. Number 25, Dylan Thomas. Number 26, Brendan Turner. Number 28, Trey Bayless. And in goal for the Student Princes, number 1, Ryan Miller. The head coach of Heidelberg is Nick Spell. He is assisted by David Briggs, James Coley, Garrett Barnes, and Chad Kane. And now the starting lineup for your Purple Raiders. A sophomore, number 4, Alex Deberschmidt. A senior, number 5, Adam Calvins. A sophomore, number 6, Dom Costura. A senior, number 8, Sam Falcone. A junior, number 16, Reese Utter. A junior, number 17, Xander Plisga. A senior, number 23, Carter Hancock. A freshman, number 25, Asher Hart. A junior, number 27, AJ Jaber. A senior, number 42, Emilio Spedic. And in goal for the Raiders, a senior, number 1, Lucas Fields. The head coach of Mount Union is David Krebs. He is assisted by Michael Wright and Shelby Edwards. And now, would you all please rise and gentlemen remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. The NCAA and the Ohio Athletic Conference promote good sportsmanship by demonstrating respect for all student athletes, coaches, officials, and fans. Fan ridicule of the opposition is strictly prohibited. The great remarks will not be tolerated. Be proud, be loud, and be positive.
Soccer senior night at Karis Stadium as the Mount Union Purple Raiders play host to the Heidelberg Student Princes. Good evening, everyone. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening as we have an OAC tilt on hand as the 10-3-1 Mount Union Purple Raiders host the 0-11-1 Heidelberg Student Princes. It should be a good day to be a Purple Raider. Looking at the results around the grounds from earlier, Mount Union took down Heidelberg in volleyball and football, 3-2 and 52-10 respectively. Girls soccer did drop their matchup against the Student Princes. So, men's soccer, their task, make the series 3-1 on the day against the Student Princes, and they have the lineup to do so. And as well, the track record this year, 7-0 at home. They have not lost a home game since 2022. They make Karis Stadium their fortress. The Student Princes looking for their first win of the year. They do have one tie on their resume, a 2-2 result against Defiance on September 7th. Mount Union, it's senior night. Your task, win for the seniors on the team and give them a great memory at Karas Stadium as their playing careers begin to wind down. We are underway at Karas Stadium, Mount Union in the white and Heidelberg in the black. Last year, Mount Union dominated the Student Princes in this fixture with a big victory. Mount Union today, they look to replicate the feat against a very similar opponent to last year. The squad relatively the same, but Mount Union, they are supplied with a fresh set of legs in the freshman class. They do have a freshman starting, as Asher Hart will be in the defensive line, the freshman from Copley High School, making one of his first starts for Mount Union. He has become a mainstay in the lineup during the second half of the season, but at the beginning, he was a presence off the bench. Now, Coach Krems has him in the starting lineup and has full trust in him in a very good defensive line for Mount Union. It will be an early goal kick for the Student Princes as Mount Union's first attack fell on deaf ears. Heading into play today, Heidelberg, only 3 goals scored this year, as they have allowed 40. A big minus 37 goal difference this year. The Student Princes, they need a spark and they need it soon. Looking at the goals they scored, 2 of them in that Defiance game, and the other one in the 2-1 loss at Bluffton. The Purple Raiders will take it up the far flank. Played up the pitch. Plisgo waiting in the center circle. Hancock changes sides, picks out Resutter. Changing fields. Hart plays it up the wing. Light tap into the center. Kustera fighting for it. Good possession, winning tackle, chipped forward, and it falls on deaf ears once again. Miller, the freshman goalkeeper of Heidelberg, able to come off of his line and snatch it. In between the sticks for Mount Union this evening, senior Lucas Fields from Lakota East High School. He has had an impressive career for Mount Union, and he looks to get a senior night win added to his already impressive resume. He has 33 saves this year, allows just over a goal per game, and has a record of 9-1-1. And as well, he has kept 4 clean sheets this season. An impressive standing for Fields. Played into the 18-yard box. Heidelberg looking for their 4th goal of the season. Not going to come there as Fields is able to come off of his line and snag it. Mount Union, a team known for playing out of the back, will do so here, looking to get the attack rolling. They've had the ball go forward a few times, but they've lost control near the 18-yard box on both occasions. Falcone changes field, picks out Hart. Runs being made by Mount Union. Good ball played into the center of the pitch as Hancock will just dish it back. Hancock, he has played a tremendous role this season for Mount Union, scoring 9 times and assisting twice. He has been a standout player and the leading goal scorer for the Purple Raiders. He has a chance to make it 10. He cannot do so. A slight clip off the leg of a Heidelberg defender allows the ball to roll to Miller. Miller taking his time, and now he sends it up the pitch. The header attempt not taken in. Turner flicks it forward to Clark. Clark loses it. Mount Union takes it back in the center. Lovely ball up the wing. Hancock, it's behind him, trips on it, and it goes out of play. Another good idea from Mount Union. The passing hasn't been on point this evening quite yet. Build-up play has been good. It's just plays like that that end up costing the Purple Raiders possession and really momentum on those sort of attacks. Plisga takes it off the hip as it will roll out of play for a Heidelberg throw. Bringing in Plisga was a big move for Mount Union. He came in, I believe, from one of the Pitt satellite schools. He has been a tremendous midfielder. Started the year coming off the bench, but now tonight gets the nod in the starting lineup. He is one of the most technical midfielders in all of the OAC. The way he is able to trap and lead possession with his feet is really impressive as a midfielder. He can also get up the wing, play out wide. He's a very versatile player who can go from box to box if needed, but is best in the attacking half. Way back, Jaber. Spetic. Center of the pitch, heavy touch. Ball taken away by the Student Princes. Dished out to the wing. Perkins to the edge of the 18-yard box. Heidelberg looking to strike first. A good tackle at the edge of the box prevents it. A good stop from the Purple Raiders wins them back possession. Kustera lays it off. Utter. Spetic. Far side. Asher Hart. Utter takes it back at the 35 and changes field for Polizga. Reese Utter, another player who is known for controlling the midfield, sends it forward. A beautiful pinged pass. Heidelberg able to get back and deal with it for the time being. Spetic leads Polizga to the edge of the 18-yard box. Taken in by Depperschmidt. Utter. Hart will take it as Mount Union will reload the attack. Kustera turns past two defenders and paces out to the wing and the edge of the box, and it's in! Emilio Spetic slots it home for Mount Union as he gives the Purple Raiders the lead on senior night. A beautiful bit of passing by Mount Union. Dish to the edge of the 18-yard box on the wing. Spetic able to go cross body and slot it home in the left corner. 38-23 left to go in the opening 40. Excuse me, opening 45. Mount Union leads it 1-0. A good result thus far from Mount Union. They were dangerous on a few attacks. That one, they were able to convert. Everything went right. The passing was there. The numbers were there. And Mount Union's clinicality, most importantly, was there. Now the Student Princes, as they have grown accustomed to this season, have their backs against the wall and the work cut out for them. Jaber. Hart will take it at the 30. Utter in the center circle, able to get rid of it. Spetic goes to ground, attempting to get rid of the ball. Good composure shown by Spetic as he was able to just release before he did get taken to ground. A clean tackle and a good idea from Heidelberg. Depperschmidt looking for help, finds it in the form of Kustera on the wing. Chips it to himself left, looking for help. Kustera tries to thread the needle, but Devin Smith is right there to dish it out of play for a corner. Good defense by Heidelberg. They are starting to adapt to Mount Union, but still, as of right now, the Purple Raiders definitely in the driver's seat as of now. Corner chipped into the edge of the 18-yard box, headed for the chance, just goes wide. Another good idea by Mount Union, but just unable to execute. So once again, Heidelberg will have a goal kick. As they send it up the pitch, Mount Union takes it in with a chipped pass, but intercepted by number 17, Fothinios. Heidelberg trying to equalize, play to the edge of the box. Utter able to trap and get rid of it. Polizga uses his feet, able to evade the pressure, dishes to the wing. Depperschmidt. Spetic lays it off into the defensive line where Falcone takes it. Jaber out to Hart. Hart looking for numbers, finds Kustera right in front of the table on the sideline. Intercepted by Heidelberg. Good play from them on the wing thus far, as they have intercepted a couple of passes from Mount Union. Chipped forward, no one home, as the Purple Raiders are able to win back possession as a few white jerseys exchange headers. Jaber takes it and gets rid of it too hard. Thus far, Mount Union trying to play the possession game. Usually they're bang, bang, bang up the wings. They'll reset once or twice, but otherwise, this is not necessarily what we usually see from these Purple Raiders. They usually score, they try to score quick. Now, they're taking their time, they're setting up. This could be a better, more sustainable way to play in the playoffs, as all it takes is a pass like that to create some magic. Hancock, edge of the 18, squares it. Good save by Heidelberg as it's blocked before it gets to the goalkeeper. Mount Union still trying to whip in across for a second chance on the attack, but they were unable to do so. Good defense by Heidelberg as they're able to take a quick breather. Polizga flicks forward for himself, trying to win possession. A good box out from Turner, but the pass goes wayward as Paul was unable to control. Jaber, Asher Hart on the far side. Plays out the wing. A beautiful back heel by Spedik, leading on a teammate. A beautiful piece of work, picking out Hancock, but Kustera couldn't hold on as Heidelberg wins it back. It takes a tip off a defender's heel. Kustera goes down at the edge of the box. Nothing called as Heidelberg will continue with possession after the ball was scooped up by Miller. Heidelberg's defense is doing a tremendous job adapting to the style of play that Mount Union employs. It's not easy to catch up to this possession and catch you off guard kind of way that Mount Union plays. It is not easy by any means. So credit to the Student Princes. They are doing a tremendous job matching it thus far. The only goal was just beautifully worked. That was the difference. The Purple Raiders still not in a bad spot by any means, but the way they've been playing, maybe 2 goals is where they should be at, and easily they could get there in a few moments, but Heidelberg able to do a nice job once again, taking possession. This time it hits off Kustera. It's a foot race, and Miller wins the foot race, getting to the ball before Dom Kustera could pace his way there. Once again, Heidelberg playing scrappy defense. It wins the day as their goalkeeper, Ryan Miller, sends it up the pitch. Played forward, Mount Union will flick it. Polizga, the closest player. It's danger time for Heidelberg. A good turn on the near side gives them an attack as Perkins does a nice job turning past some white jerseys, dishes it off. Turner tries to get forward. Reese Utter, the tackle, wins it back, but Clark gets it for the Princes. Heavy touch from Paul. Mount Union takes it back. Spedik rolling, trying to evade black jerseys. Dishes it back. Polizga stepping up, has to intervene as a Student Prince goes to the ground. The junior midfielder wins the day. Once again, Polizga showing his versatility. We see him as a distributor pretty often for this Mount Union team. But on that play, he came back going more of a box-to-box approach and got the stop, got the ball back for Mount Union, and now they have an attack brewing at midfield that could potentially become dangerous. Polizga, one-touch flick out to the wing. Utter. Xander Polizga. Emilio Spedik plays it up the wing. Mount Union looking dangerous. And the Purple Raiders will reset on offense. Played forward, just slips past. Kustera to the left. A chance for Dom Kustera. What a save by Miller. Ball still there. Kustera goes again and goes across the face of goal. What a job by Ryan Miller, getting big and deflecting the effort of Dom Kustera. I'll tell you what, this Heidelberg team is impressing me right now. The way they're playing so scrappy on defense, their goalkeeper doing the fundamental principles of being a goalkeeper, getting big, getting wide, blocking shots. That is basically what any goalkeeping coach would want to see their goalkeeper doing. So props to the freshman. He is doing an excellent job thus far after defending yet another great attack from Mount Union. Custera, a beautiful solo run. If that would have been a goal, we'd be watching this back over and over again for the next week. That's just how beautiful that attack was from Custera. Instead, it was Heidelberg's goalkeeper winning the day. We will see what Mount Union has in their back pocket after that great sequence defensively from Heidelberg. Hart now playing on the near side, finds Depperschmidt. Depperschmidt needing to be careful, just gets rid of it before Paul greets him. Spedick plays it into Mount Union's defensive box. Jaber looking for help, gives it back to Spedick. Polizga making a run near side, barely onside, but the flags will stay down. Polizga has a chance to facilitate the offense, cuts to the edge of the box, squares it central. Here comes Mount Union. Custera, edge of the 18-yard box. The chance just hits off the woodwork. Another good attack from Mount Union. But the crossbar, where it intersects with the goalpost, wins the day for Heidelberg. Substitution for Mount Union as Polizga will come off, and the prolific freshman Amir Spratt subs on for the first time today. When you talk about a top talent from the start of his career until now, the name Amir Spratt has to come to mind. 4 goals and 2 assists as a freshman. That matches the output of Dom Custera for second on the team. He has been a monster this year for Mount Union, and if this is your first introduction to Amir Spratt, all I'm going to say, get ready to see some beautiful footwork, beautiful hustle, and beautiful mastery of possession. Spratt's first touches, light ball played to the center, Hancock takes. Here come the Purple Raiders. Beautiful ball in. It's a give and go dream. Spratt gets open and scores! There he is! The prolific freshman scores for the 5th time this season as Mount Union leads Heidelberg 2-0. Amir Spratt is going to be a Mount Union legend, ladies and gentlemen. What can't this kid do for the Purple Raiders? A beautiful give and go set up by Hancock. Spratt gets open, wide open, no one home. Very similar to the job that he did a few weeks ago against Worcester, where he made that overlapping run and made the goal happen. This time, he is the one benefiting as the Purple Raiders, with 28:47 left to go in the first half, lead it by 2. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something called the announcer's jinx, and I think I just did it in favor of Amir Spratt. I said, you're going to be impressed, and if you weren't impressed by that, I don't know what to tell you. Wow. 2-0 Mount Union. Heidelberg trying to respond. No response as Jaber gets it back in the defensive line. As a Manchester United fan, they won today. Mount Union's looking good. For the first time, I think, this year, things are looking good for both teams that I support in Mount Union and Manchester United. I kind of like this. Ball played forward. Spratt going for it. Miller able to get there before Spratt can outpace him. But Mount Union, they changed their approach for a brief moment. They caught Heidelberg off guard. The technical ability of those one-touch passes. You see academy teams like Crew, that is what they emphasize. I played against those teams for years. You would hear 1-1,000, 2-1,000, 3-1,000, and if you saw the ball at your feet, you're going to the bench. That is what that was beautifully exploiting. Tiki-taka football. You saw teams like Spain do that in the 2010s. Here comes Hancock, has a chance, and slots it home. Opens the foot and buries it. Mount Union leads it by 3 as Carter Hancock scores for the 10th time this year. What a job by Mount Union in this first half. This is what was expected. This is the Mount Union team we all expected to see tonight at Karis Stadium, and they have arrived.
Number 23, Carter Hancock.
But wow, Mount Union looking elite tonight. Carter Hancock, 1 goal. Amir Spratt, 1 goal. Emilio Spatic, 1 goal. The wealth is being distributed perfectly by the Purple Raiders, as with just over 15 minutes played, it's a 3-0 Mount Union advantage. Perkins, a couple nice touches for Heidelberg, dishes it to the center. Clark plays up pitch, intercepted. Another good play by Mount Union as Falcone, one of the 6 seniors, traps it. Spratt plays it back, Depperschmidt. Changes field, Spedick able to get it out to Asher Hart. Hart, the long ball played forward. It has a chance. Mount Union's player on his horse gets to it. Beautiful hustle on the far side, and it goes out of play. But Mount Union hustling for loose balls. This is the hustle and the Mount Union we want to see heading into the OAC tournament in a few short weeks. Hart traps, heavy touch forward. Beautiful flick into the box. Hancock looking for help, plays it to Hart. Hart can't get to it before it's intercepted. Spedick will retrieve it on his back foot and set up the offense once again. Played forward, Hart, a no-look tap to Utter. Tiki-taka soccer being employed once again by the Purple Raiders, and it was working for a moment. It still has a chance to, as Depperschmidt able to clear it back and find Jaber. But going back to that system, that was revolutionized by Barcelona and Spain in the 2010s. Pep Guardiola, the teams that he coached for Barcelona, that is what they ran. They had 3 of the best midfielders in the world, Xavi, Andre Iniesta, and as well, Busquets was there. A couple other guys were insane for that team in that time frame. They had the midfielders for it, and Mount Union, relative to the talent, they have the talent to run tiki-taka, and they have done an excellent job. That is a credit to this coaching system. That is not an easy system to run. One-touch passes, that's difficult. Spratt in for a chance, takes a touch, flicks it, and it goes wide. But going back to that Barcelona comparison one more time, this team looks very similar to that team that they had back in the 2010s. They had pacey wingers. You had prime Neymar. You had a young Alexis Sanchez there. Mount Union has talents very similar. Hancock forward trying to pick out Falcone, and it trickles back. Jaber plays it forward. Amir Spratt already has 1 goal, plays it forward, no one home. Now there is, and it goes just wide. Beautiful defense by the Student Princes to defend, and it appears we'll have some substitutions for Mount Union as we await the goal kick. Looking at who is coming on. Kobe Ramadani, one of the players coming in, one of the 6 seniors that Mount Union has. He's one talented player on the pitch, but off the pitch, he might be one of the most impressive and talented videographers that Mount Union has ever seen. I don't know exactly where to find his content. I've been shown it before based on my media classes and Raider student media, but if you can go and find Kobe's work, you will be amazed on what that young man can do. He is one heck of a soccer player and one heck of an editor and videographer. Go find his stuff and see it for yourself. He is one heck of a talent. Back to the action on the pitch. Hancock looking for help, looking still in the back. And he will just keep it instead. Played out to the wing. Depperschmidt takes. Dished back. Cubby. Beautiful give and go to the box. Defended for the time being. Spratt right there to try and close down. Ramadani dishes out to the wing. A good fight by Spedick to keep possession. Mount Union getting back to their 1 or 2 touch system. A touch and a pass. Falcone the touch. Few more and a pass. It's beautiful. This is soccer at its finest. Beautiful shape, beautiful ideology, and beautiful formation. Beautiful ball by Spratt, and it's skied. Cody Parkey has seen that happen before as it double doinks off the uprights and the crossbar out of play for a goal kick. That is one of the most fun things to see when you play soccer on a football field with the goalpost still out. You might not get 3 points for soccer if you hit it through the uprights, but football you do. You can do that little bit of wordplay. That kind of feeds into what I can say. It gives me some free lines, basically. I'll take it. And also, it's kind of ironic because a lot of these players, there's a chance that they were their high school's place kickers for football. I know a lot of schools, soccer players, that's who takes their kicks. Spratt, Cobby, beautiful give and go. It's a pace battle on the wing, and Miller is able to get there before Lightfritz could make an attempt. Paul squares a central. Spratt, heavy touch, able to get it out to the wing, but intercepted by the Student Princes. Reed. Ball roll and plays it up pitch, intercepted by Mount Union. Once again, a nice play in the defensive half by Falcone. And credit to all of the seniors. When they have been called upon today and throughout their careers, they have performed and have been able to do what their coach has asked of them. This is a talented class, and they will be missed next year, as a lot of them are the heart and soul of this team. You look at Lucas Fields in between the sticks, one of the best goalkeepers Mount Union has had this century. That will be tough to replace, but there is a lot of talent waiting behind him. It'll be fun to see them play next year. Squared, Spratt to go on a double. Can't right away, as once again Heidelberg plays good defense, sending numbers to block the ball just before the goal. Hancock trying to wiggle his way forward. Depperschmidt there as well. Instead, Hart takes it at the 35 and finds Cobby. Cobby Ramadani goes back to Hart. Depperschmidt opens his foot, finds a player on the wing. Beautiful cross in. Lightfritz goes up for it, unable to get a good connection. And a spin move from Miller makes sure he holds on to the ball. And it looks like a free kick will be given. Lightfritz went up for the challenge, came down a little bit hard on the defender. It was a good idea and good effort, but just a little bit too much. Sent to midfield, Ramadani right there, unable to win it. Spedic gets it off the bounce. Flicked forward, Spedic able to use his tall stature to get the possession, but unable to keep it. It's a battle in the midfield. Mount Union trying to win it. A heavy tackle. Heidelberg gets it, played forward, and Fields will let it roll out of play. Ino Fotinos was the player there for Heidelberg. Fotinos, the sophomore from Madrid, Spain, played his high school ball at Andrews Osborne. So going from sunny Madrid, Spain to Willoughby, Ohio. Definitely an adjustment, but we've seen a lot of the players come from overseas, whether it be in Europe, South America, and play at a local high school. That's just a beautiful game at its finest. Obviously, getting in an academy over in Madrid is difficult. You have Atleti and you have Real in the city of Madrid. Getting in those academies, that is insanely difficult. Sometimes your best bet, go overseas, play somewhere else. If you do well here, there's a chance you can get a tryout from a professional club, semi-professional club, and you can continue your development. Mount Union up 3-0. With less than 20 minutes to go in the first half. Spratt flicked forward. Beautiful pace at the edge of the box. Tries to square it in. And the flag goes up, and it is out of play. A corner will be given to Mount Union. Once again, good presence in the box by the Purple Raiders. They're able to use their physicality to fight their way in there. Short corner. At the 15, Ramadani takes. Ball played on the ground forward. Spedic dishes out to the wing. Can the Purple Raiders find their fourth? Chipped forward, and the header of dreams gives them their fourth. Alex Depperschmidt slots it home as a beautiful pass played forward leads him on. The fourth goal belongs to number 4. That was beautiful play from Mount Union. The chipped pass of dreams goes forward, finds Depperschmidt, and Depperschmidt gets good air. No one in the vicinity. He's able to just lightly flick it forward.
Number 4, Alex Depperschmidt.
That was perfect. You're looking to see who was given the assist. A chance it was Spedic. And it looks like they're just going to give him a solo effort. There was definitely someone who chipped it in, didn't get a good look. It probably was Spedic or Hancock. One of those two, I believe it was. Tough to see the numbers from the angle, given the glare of the light. But either way, a beautiful ball played in, and it appears, just a solo goal. Couple substitutions made by Mount Union as they will get some fresh legs in. Turner trying to go forward. Heidelberg will throw. 17:45 left to go in the opening 45. Mount Union dominating a 4-0 over Heidelberg. Paul plays it in. Beautiful ball. Can Heidelberg make something happen? Furaj trying to square, dealt with nicely by Mount Union, and their defensive line is able to hold up and get rid of the ball. Ramadani, a beautiful back heel, leads the ball forward. Heavy touch, Spratt looking for help, cuts up the center, goes outside of the foot with the pass. Beautiful ball in. Can Mount Union make it 5? Hancock doing it all himself right now, gets tripped up, keeps it, able to dish it. Can the Purple Raiders now find it off the woodwork? Spratt, the audacious kick, no good. What a sequence for Mount Union. They sent the house and then some. A wild attempt from Amir Spratt was the last-ditch effort. You can't blame him. That's the only shot he could have fired. But the woodwork denies Mount Union their 5th, and that would have been a beautiful goal. Would not have been surprised to see that on OAC's Goals of the Week, if you will. It's Plays of the Week, but they call that kind of segment Goals of the Week. Would not have been surprised to see that if it went in. And still, I wouldn't be surprised to see Depperschmidt's goal on there, as that was beautifully worked. The chip of dreams in a beautiful header. Perfectly worked. Nothing else you can say. Heidelberg fighting. They have a chance to score for the 4th time this season, but Mount Union defends nicely. Played forward. Ramadani. Chips it forward. Amir Spratt. Outside the foot pass that has become his bread and butter this first half. Hit out of play by Heidelberg, and Spratt will take a quick throw. Chested down by Mount Union as Kennedy tries to win it, loses it, but Ramadani goes back, boxes out, and falls to the ground. A beautiful penalty, or excuse me, a beautiful foul won by Ramadani. And it does appear that the player who was right behind him, Kolajasic, went down, and it appears they will make a substitution for him. It was an awkward sequence the way he went down. Hopefully he is okay. As well, post-game, it won't be live, but following the conclusion of this game, I will be interviewing some key players from Mount Union following senior night to get their thoughts on the game and the season that is still to follow. A lot of good games for Mount Union going over to their schedule to get a better idea of who is up next for the Purple Raiders. It is a trip to Berea to take on Baldwin Wallace on October 23rd. Then a trip to Ada, Ohio to take on Ohio Northern. Then a home tilt, and that will be their last home game on October 30th against Marietta. And to close out the regular season, they will travel to Columbus to take on Capital. A lot of tough games still left to play. ONU has to be the toughest on that schedule left to go. The Purple Raiders, as of right now, undefeated in OAC play. They are looking for a high seed. The Heidelberg player still down. We will step aside for a brief moment. Mount Union leading 4-0. Kolujasic, the injured player for Heidelberg, able to limp off the field with the help of his team. Mount Union leads 4-0 over Heidelberg. If you are just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening live on OAC Boxcast. The next time you will hear my voice for a Mount Union broadcast will be on Wednesday as Mount Union's volleyball team comes back to the Timken Gymnasium to take on BW. First set will be at 7 p.m. live on OAC Boxcast. And congrats to the team after taking down Heidelberg 3-2 at Tiffin today. It wasn't an easy match. They fought in set number 4 to take it to a 5th set, and they won the 5th set. A pretty similar result to the one they had against Denison back at the end of August. If things continue to go to plan, there's a chance that they will make back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances. They are still looking for their first OAC title, whether it be regular season or tournament title, since 2014. On the near side, taken up the pitch by On. Spratt dishes back. Niles Spann, his first touches of the game, gets it back from Lumbly. And after Lumbly passes it back, it goes out of play for a Heidelberg throw. Still a dominant performance from Mount Union this evening. Whether it be the final score or a few more goals, the notion remains the same. Mount Union came to play, and they continue to make Karis Stadium a fortress to this day. That is what they are known for, winning at home. And it appears that they will improve to 8-0 on the campaign here in Alliance, Ohio. And that is not easy to do against the teams that they play. They play a lot of great teams in the OAC and a lot of non-conference opponents. They took on Transy here back in September, a tough, dicey opponent. They took on Ohio Wesleyan on the road. They ended up not winning that game. Case, another tough team out of conference. Calvin as well. They play a lot of tough schools, especially on the road, but they have done well for themselves still. 2-2-1 on the road, 1-1 in neutral territory. They've done well for themselves this season. This is what we expect to see year in and year out from Mount Union men's soccer, and that tradition looks to continue. That is something that Coach Krems is very proud of, and I'm sure post-game when I give my interviews, you will hear that notion that this is something those players are proud to fight for and proud to represent. Played up the pitch, beautiful touch on. Can Mount Union take advantage and score? Played to the edge of the box, the chance goes in! What a goal by the Purple Raiders to take a 5-0 lead. A beautiful shot and a beautiful goal. Cody Lumbly able to loop it in for the Purple Raiders as he is mobbed at the corner flag.
Mount Union goal by number 21, Cody Lumbly.
Lumbly, one of the seniors, will now be remembered on the stat sheet this senior night. That will be his first goal of the season, his second goal contribution. He had an assist earlier on this campaign, but still, his teammates are happy for him. He is happy for him, and Purple Raider Nation is partying up 5-0 over Heidelberg. It'll be interesting to see who is on the pitch this second half for Mount Union as they look to close things out in the final 45 minutes of play. Dished out. Beautiful slide tackle. Keeps it with the Purple Raiders. Spann close to the ball along with, I believe that to be number 33, Keegan White. And once again, it goes out of play. Spann fighting. Gets it out to the wing. Ramadani chips it up the pitch. has a player open and hit out of play. Braden Kennedy, the junior from Strongsville High School, the closest Purple Raider to the ball, but he shrewdly lets it go out of play for a Mount Union corner. The Purple Raiders have been a dominant team from set pieces this season, and they look to have it continue. Almost. Ramadani unable to connect. He had the space, he had the time, but unable to make enough contact as it goes out for a Mount Union throw-in. We saw the celebration when Lumbee scored. If Cobby scores, he will be mobbed once again. This team loves Cobby. When they announce his name for senior night, every player gets cheers. He maybe had a little bit extra when it came to cheers. A lot of support from his teammate. So he is very well respected within this organization. The Purple Raiders surrender a free kick at about the 30-yard line with 10 minutes left to go in the opening 45 minutes at Karis Stadium. Numbers becoming available. Squared in and headed out of the box. Mount Union, if they can get numbers forward, they have a chance to create something. They attempted to do so as Tyler Harsh attempted to flick it up pitch, but no one home. Harrison on, the senior from Gahano Lincoln High School, throws it in. Washburn changing pitch. The Purple Raiders using a lot of rotation in this match. A lot of new faces that we haven't seen much of this season getting game time. And that is good, especially the younger guys. Get them game time and allow them to get prepared for a future in the starting lineup. Played forward and Sky just in front of Mount Union's bench as Lumbee will let it go out of play. Quick throw in to the Purple Raiders. Quick turn by Span. He has been excellent this season. He comes off the bench, he does his job, and he is one heck of a player on the ball. Able to turn, able to be technical with his feet. This Mount Union team, a well-oiled machine. Very similar to volleyball, one of the deepest teams in the whole OAC. That is what Mount Union is known for, having depth in their programs. Football, a prime example. QB2, when he's healthy, Mikey Maloney, one heck of a talent, and we'll be seeing him in a couple of years. We've seen him a couple times this season fill in once Noah Boudry's day is over. And speaking of football, congrats to them on a big 52-10 victory over Heidelberg this afternoon. A lot of rushing in that game. Echeverry, a 91-yard house call, 300-some yards rushing. The Purple Raiders looked really good as they will travel to ONU next weekend for a tilt with the Polar Bears. Nice turn from the Purple Raiders as that was on, dishing it back to the defensive line. Sent up the pitch, trapped by Harsh. Ramadani. Span. To the back line at the feet of Washburn. Ramadani dishes out to the wing. Played forward, it rolls past everyone, almost to Kennedy. Kennedy fights for it, but unable to win it as Miller is able to get rid of it. Intercepted by the Purple Raiders, chipped forward. Span almost makes it 6 as Miller falls on it. Good play defensively by Heidelberg and good offense by Mount Union. They came close to scoring. Span. That would have been, I believe, goal number 3 on the year if he was able to score, excuse me, goal number 4 on the year. It would have been a great goal as well. But a corner given to Mount Union. Another substitution being made by Coach Krebs as he is keeping legs fresh on the pitch. I like this rotation. We're seeing a lot of players we usually don't see on the pitch for the Purple Raiders. They get some game time, and they can potentially catch fire. Header to the edge of the box. Sergo dishes back. On cuts to his left, looking for help. Chips forward, and it goes out of play. A lot to talk about at halftime. If you're Heidelberg, what adjustments can you make heading into the second half? And if you're Mount Union, who do you play? Do you keep the seniors in? Do you get some younger guys in? A lot of questions needing to be answered. Trapped at the edge of the 18-yard box. Harsh looking to turn. Ramadani gets open. A lot of space in front of him. Chips into the box. Ramadani still fighting to keep it there. And Heidelberg, able to clear their lines, will have a slight breather. Good height on the header, but it goes to Heidelberg. Intercepted by Spedic. Or excuse me, that is Hahn. Harsh plays it back. Washburn. Played up pitch. Beautiful ball down the wing intended for Kennedy. And Heidelberg will concede the throw-in. Or actually, they did a nice job getting it off of Kennedy. Great idea by the Student Princes as they were able to take an extra second and chip it off of a white jersey, keeping possession with them. Ramadani will sub out for Mount Union as they will bring on Ahebwa. Heidelberg trapping, going up against Harsh. That is number 7, Furaj. Played back to the 40-yard line. Harsh taking it, heavy touch. Out to the far flank in front of Mount Union's bench. Kennedy gets it out on the wing, trips on it, and will surrender possession to Heidelberg. Mount Union had a glimmer of hope as Lightfritz got in on the interception, but too heavy of a trap. And it goes out of play. Mount Union will throw. Played forward, trapped at the edge of the 18-yard box, and it rolls out of play. Once again, the teams on the far side beginning to trade possession. Heavy challenge. Harsh takes it. Chips it forward. Kennedy trying to get it to the right players. Beautiful give and go. The chance goes across the face of goal. That was Caden Cosin, the junior from Eastlake North High School, on the attempt. 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Mount Union partying up 5-0 over Heidelberg. Miller sends it up the pitch, headed back. The Student Prince is unable to trap Kennedy. Flicked forward, has a chance, heavy touch, and he loses it. The last touch became the Achilles heel of Mount Union's attack as it goes out of play for a Heidelberg goal kick. Kennedy saw the light of day a little bit too early. When he watches it back in film, maybe he sees that and says, okay, it was a good attack, just need to keep the ball a little bit closer, and maybe we'd have had another goal there. It's not going to matter in the outcome of the game, but that is an error you'd rather make in this game than in the OAC tournament. You see that and say, okay, we need to work on keeping the ball close when flicked forward. Yes, it's tempting just to play the ball forward and assume you're going to keep possession, but as seen there, they lost it. That is something that if you had to nitpick, they can work on. And in games like this, where you dominate, if you're Coach Krebs, you're going to go back and watch film and be a little bit more scrutinizing of plays as, okay, what did we do well? Okay, we did a lot well in this game. What did we do not well? Well, we didn't do X, Y, and Z that well. That is how teams get better, and that is how he has coached this team, and he has done a tremendous job doing so. 90 seconds left to go. Beautiful ball across the face of goal, and Mount Union's defense once again holds up. Ball played edge of the box. Squared in. Light touch. Mount Union looking to clear. Jaber able to send it up the pitch. Kennedy takes a touch, looking for help with a minute to go in the first half. Chipped forward, fighting for possession is on. On stumbles, going forward, no whistle. Heidelberg pacing up the pitch. Smith looking for help, loses it out of play as Lumby, the goal scorer from around 10 minutes ago, hits it out. The clock continuing to run. 30 seconds left to go. Played into a dangerous area, intercepted by Washburn. Washburn able to get it to the far side. Mount Union maybe attempting one final attack. Heidelberg now doing the same. As the ball goes out of play for a free kick, actually sent forward. Nothing crazy gonna happen as Jaber is able to trap and play it forward, and that will take us to halftime. Your score, Mount Union 5, Heidelberg 0. It has been a tremendous display by the Purple Raiders. Before we head to the half, we will look at our first half team stats powered by Stat Broadcast. 17 shots by Mount Union, 2-0 from Heidelberg. Saves, Heidelberg 3, Mount Union 0. Corners, Mount Union 6, Heidelberg 0. Now going into individual stats. Alex Depperschmidt, Carter Hancock, Emilio Spedic, Amir Spratt, and Cody Lumby, the 5 goal scorers for Mount Union, with Dom Kustera having 2 assists, Carter Hancock with 1, Emilio Spedic with 1, and Braden Kennedy with 1. The player with the most minutes played is the goalkeeper, Lucas Fields, with a full 45 minutes under his belt. But otherwise, a lot of players in the 20s and 30s. The only outfield player to play the full 45 for Mount Union, A.J. Jaber. Otherwise, the rest have played less than 40 minutes. Number 27 out there the whole time, and he manned the defense very well. We will step aside with the Purple Raiders dominating Heidelberg, up 5-0 after 45 minutes. job on the camera first half. Appreciate it. 5 minutes left to go on senior night at Kara Stadium. Mount Union men's soccer leading Heidelberg 5-0. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. As of right now, Mount Union well in the driver's seat to earning their 11th win of the year. In other news, the Guardians, they are beginning their playoff game right now against the Yankees. We will have score updates for you as those come across our, I want to say desk, but there's no real desk. As those come across our mind and we hear updates, we will let you know at home what is going on over there as the second half is underway. 45 minutes left to go tonight. Mount Union, their next game against BW on the road Wednesday evening before they travel to Ohio Northern, or I believe they actually host Ohio Northern next Saturday. Definitely a lot of good games still to come for them, plus the OAC tournament. Heidelberg, they have their work cut out for them as they look for their first win of the season, with their next opponent being John Carroll away this upcoming Wednesday in University Heights. Mount Union getting off to a fast start. They will have a throw in their attacking half. Thrown to the edge of the box. Can the Purple Raiders make it 6? The ball pings off of a white jersey and out of play for a goal kick. And once we get into the second half, 5-0, Mount Union essentially have the win clinched. There gets to a point where there's not much to talk about. It's just the game going on. We could showcase the players, but still, Mount Union, they make it where you can say the same things about them. They're a well-oiled machine. They know what they're doing. In this case, a slight rare error from them as Fields is able to make up for it. But for the most part, they are able to really command this game. They're able to play technically sound soccer. Not much more you can say. Heidelberg, they have a chance to create some waves, and Mount Union, they have a chance to score. Kennedy, right off the bat, squares it, and it is sent away for a corner. Good defense by Heidelberg as they are able to force the ball out of play, and that sets up a chance for Mount Union at the corner. The Purple Raiders setting up for the set piece. Ball whipped in, rolls to the edge of the box. Harsh looking for help. Strong tackle from Heidelberg as that will send it out. Usually at this point, Fields would sub out and you would see another goalkeeper such as Jackson Callender come in to seal the deal, but it is senior night. I expect him to play the full hour and a half. Headed back to Heidelberg. Heidelberg will send it up the pitch, and Mount Union will get the ball back. The Purple Raiders, this is what they expected to do today. This is what, when you tuned in, you expected Mount Union to do. This is Mount Union soccer at its finest. Spratt using his physicality to pace forward, gets the bounce, and it's cleared away by Heidelberg going well into the bleachers. I think that landed in the top row of the visiting side. Plenty of power, clearly. We've seen a couple of balls almost go over the awning. And I'm sure in the history of Kara Stadium, a number of stray balls have gone over that far awning. The Purple Raiders work at the corner flag, looking for numbers to get open, and the ball rolls out of play for a corner. Once again, going back to your goal scorers, Depperschmidt, Hancock, Spedick, Spratt, and Lumby. Ball whipped in, headed, but wide. Not a good enough read of the corner as Mount Union will give possession back to Heidelberg on a goal kick. as far as senior night goes, this is about as good as it can get for the class of 2025. They're enjoying this. This is their night to be celebrated. They had a beautiful ceremony before the game. I believe this is one of the last senior nights for fall sports. Still a few more left to go, but this really sets the pace for Mount Union going forward. It's fall break, not a lot of students on campus. These athletes, they had to give up their fall break to train to get ready for this game, and this is a good result because of it. Not many students left on campus to see it, but I'm sure when they see the results, they'll be like, hey, maybe should have been there. And that will kind of be the point that these teams want to get across. They are talented, and they want fans to show up. And to their credit, the fans, a lot of fans were here Wednesday night for the Muskegum volleyball game that Mount Union won 3-1. I was impressed to see how many students were there. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the most non-men's volleyball students that I saw there. Usually they are there and walking around doing things at the game. They're watching the girls play, and that is awesome. I'm sure we're going to see the same exact thing happen once we get to winter in mid-January. Once men's volleyball gets underway, I'm sure the women will be out there to support the men. And that's just a beautiful kind of respect they have. We see that all the time for soccer as well. When women's soccer isn't on the road and doesn't have a game, they will be out here supporting the men and vice versa. Just a lot of mutual respect between the programs, the players, the coaches, you name it. A lot goes into making these matches happen, and the fans, a huge part of it. Spratt getting into the box and defended nicely by Heidelberg, smacked out of play. It will be a Mount Union corner. Played in, going to the edge of the box, whipped across, and the header just goes wide. Amir Spratt almost had a tremendous goal from right in front. That would have been a thing of beauty for the freshman. Mount Union, they're on it now. They are nearing goal number 6. At halftime, I asked who we'd see on the pitch this second half, and the answer appears to be a lot of the starters with a lot of the reserves mixed in. I would say half and half for the most part. Obviously, it can't be a perfect 50-50, 11 players on, you do the math. But for the most part, it's pretty much even. Maybe 6 starters, 5 non-starters, or vice versa. I would say that's about where we are. Chipped up pitch, trying to find White, and out of play. Either way, it would have been Heidelberg's possession, as most likely White was offside. Harsh takes a turn and is taken down immediately, and the whistle will blow for a foul. Harsh a little shaken up after the attempt. He appears to be okay, as it was probably more of just getting to the ground and getting hit than anything. You have to be tough to play this sport, and this team, plenty tough. They get banged up a lot, especially going up against that Worcester team. The amount of fouls that we saw in that second half and the amount of yellow cards just showed how physical and how bruising that contest was, and everyone was able to really fight through it. I think the only player that went down for an extended period was Depperschmidt, but he is back in the lineup and ready to go. Speaking of Depperschmidt, flicks it forward. Amir Spratt pacing forward, and Miller is able to get rid of it. Heidelberg still looking for their first goal of the game. And it goes too far. Fields will snatch in between the sticks. Played up the pitch by Sasher. Jacob Sasher, another one of the freshmen getting some game time. Kennedy, did he time the run right? Flag will stay down. Kennedy plays it across, and the goal for Mount Union. Tyler Harsh slots it home as the Purple Raiders have their first goal of the second half and now lead it 6-0 over Heidelberg. Beautifully worked. A beautifully timed run by Kennedy. We have been honing in on that all season, whether it be me or Will in the booth. Both of us have been pointing out you need to time the runs perfectly, and that was a perfectly timed run by the Purple Raiders, and it pays off. This is the time to correct that, and they did just that. Beautiful job to the fellow Strongsvonian, if you will, in Braden Kennedy, and a beautiful goal by Tyler Harsh. Mount Union looking extremely good once again. They struggled at the early parts of this half, but they put it together. That was about as good as it gets. Beautifully worked team play. Plays like that will get you far in the OAC tournament, in the NCAA tournament, and even the regular season. That kind of teamwork and that kind of chemistry will take teams the extra mile. And depending on which team hosts the NCAA tournament, Mount Union might need that extra mile. More in a literal sense than a figurative sense, but still, they could use that extra mile. Less than 35 minutes left to go in the 90. Carney, another one of the freshmen from West Virginia, Caleb Carney. I mention it a lot. Calling games for kids that I have class with, it makes it special. Carney, one of the kids that I have class with. He is in my intro to business class on Tuesdays. So shout out to Caleb. And as well, he is not playing today. Sam Harum, he is also in that class along with my FYS. It's cool to see those kids get out there and enjoy the sport they love. That's one of the best parts about calling a sport for the school you attend. Your classmates are out there making plays. And speaking of making plays, Mount Union was in on an attempt, but the flag will go up as Keen McCauley was flagged. With the offside being given, Heidelberg will take back possession, needing some sort of spark. As of right now, if they can score a goal, I call that a victory for the Student Princes. They have struggled mightily in that department this year, only scoring 3 times. They need a couple, and that can help them rebuild as they need a huge rebuild in Tiffin to get back on the right track. And I believe they do have a lot of the pieces already in place. Turner, Paul, and Furaj, the 3 goal scorers this year for the Student Princes. But when you look at their roster, a few seniors, a lot of sophomores, and a lot of freshmen. They are a young team that can rebuild, especially if the freshman class they're bringing in this upcoming year is good. They have a chance to compete next year. They can be really good. They just need to start gelling. Spratt at the edge of the 18-yard box takes it in, cleared away by Heidelberg. Mount Union still applying the pressure. Chested down and out to the wing. Played forward. Nice job by White getting a piece. Played forward. Carney plays it up. Pitch. Doesn't matter as Dedich was offside. Quick free kick taken by the Student Princes, looking for any way to get the ball out of their defensive half as they have been trapped there for the majority of the second half. And the swarming from Mount Union continues. A beautiful job by Amir Spratt. Selflessly plays it off to the side, and it's a goal for the Purple Raiders. Beautiful teamwork as Keen McCauley slots it home for Mount Union. We're going to do a quick check. If I am not mistaken, that is the first career Mount Union goal for Keen McCauley. Congrats, Keen, on opening up your goal scoring tally as a Mount Union Purple Raider. A special day for Keen McCauley and the Purple Raiders. That is one of the best parts of this job. You get to see beautiful moments like that. You get to call first career goals, first career assists, first career whatever. And seeing moments like that, it's beautiful. And that assist from Spratt is, I believe, his third of the season, unless he already has one today. No, he does not. Now a goal and an assist for Amir Spratt. Once again, he has come as advertised off the bench. An excellent super sub for the Purple Raiders. He will most likely start the next game. He is one heck of a player. His hustle, his willpower, his determination is unmatched in the OAC. It is a tough task to find a kid who fights this hard on the pitch. And you see him still fighting and bruising forward. He can work as a poacher. He can work as a bruiser. He can work as a box-to-box midfielder. He is so versatile. Coach Krems could play him realistically in any position except the center back or the goalkeeping spot and have him play exceptionally well. I could even see him being a good fullback. He just has that much pace and that much willpower depending on the formation. That is how versatile Amir Spratt is. And to have a player like that, very similar to Carter Hancock, but more offensively minded, that is huge for years to come. Especially since Carter Hancock's a fifth-year senior. They're going to need to replace his output, and Amir Spratt can become the talisman of Mount Union men's soccer for years to come following this year, and he is well on his way. 5 goals this campaign now, along with 3 assists. 8 goal contributions as a freshman through 14 or 13 and a half games now. This is his 14th. That's exceptionally good. He's averaging a goal contribution in just over every other game. To do that as a freshman, just wow. Mount Union wants more. That header coming in saves the day as Heidelberg has a chance to get rid of it. Spratt trying to free the ball along with Ahebwa. Good pressure, gets the ball out to the wing and out of play for a Mount Union throw-in. Ahebwa played up the pitch and touched out. Heidelberg trying to be scrappy like they were in the opening stages of the contest. They just send the ball up pitch. Maybe one of their first touches in this second half in their attacking half. Dished up the pitch. De Leon loses it. Heidelberg has a chance. The give and go, but a slight slip, and that will send the Student Princes back a little bit, but still on possession as they have a chance to make something happen. It's a good battle at the edge of the box. A Purple Raider goes down, and the whistle blows. Mount Union will have Fields distribute the ball from his own net after the free kick. Ahebwa loses it. Heidelberg the chance. What a save by Lucas Fields. On his senior night, an excellent save from Fields, as that is the first time he has really been called into action, and he is able to make a stop. Heidelberg tried ruining the clean sheet, but Fields is doing all he can to keep it intact. Ball headed around and out of play for a Heidelberg throw. It will be number 36, Corey Slovic, to throw in. And a substitution made for both sides, including Amir Spratt, as he most likely subs out for either the second last or the last time tonight. He might come in for the final 10 minutes, but either way, a goal and an assist. A great performance from the freshman once again as Amir Spratt continues to shine at home for Mount Union. Hart plays it back. Fields. Fields will play it off to his right. Mount Union just looking to hold on to possession and not try anything too crazy. Played up the wing and pinged out of play as McCauley couldn't trap. Thrown in by Slovic. The ball rolled, nutmegs one of Mount Union's players and goes out of play for a Heidelberg throw. McCauley plays forward, intercepted by Heidelberg, and cleared away. A good play by Caleb Carney. Hart goes up in the air against Perkins and wins the day. Hueba plays it back, and Mount Union will send it up the sideline and out of play for a Heidelberg throw. Heidelberg will drop to 0-12-1 on the year with a trip to John Carroll up next this Wednesday. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff in University Heights. As for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, their next game on the road in Berea as they take on Baldwin Wallace at George Finney Stadium. 7 p.m. kickoff in Berea. After today, the Purple Raiders only have one more regular season home game, and that is October 30th against Marietta. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff here at Caris Stadium. If they are able to win a lot of these matchups, at least 3 of them, they should have a good chance of hosting a playoff game. So the seniors, fifth-year seniors, grad students, whatever it may be, they will have one more chance to play on their home turf before we head into the NCAA tournament. Mount Union will make a substitution on the far side as a lot of players will come on. Once again, Coach Krems is trying to get a bunch of players in this contest. Looking at the stat website, pretty much everyone has played. Counting the roster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not even a third of the way through the list. I would say at least 25 players have played. "33 players have played. That doesn't even include the goalkeeper. So 34 players have had at least a few minutes for Mount Union this evening. A lot of rotation. That ball intended for Kosin, unable to get to him at first after the header, but Mount Union will take it back. Hernandez plays it into the defensive line. Hart. Hernandez tiptoeing around. Picks out Hobeck. Loose ball. Fields goes out of his net for it. And Heidelberg's attack is ended. Lucas Fields playing like a sweeper keeper. And it helps keep the clean sheet intact. What a job by Lucas Fields, storming out of his goal to make that play. Here comes Mount Union up the pitch, looking for goal number 8. The cut to the outside, the chance defended nicely as Reed hits it out of play. Kosin was in on the attack, but unable to score. A quick substitution made by Mount Union as they're getting a fresh leg in as De Leon trots off. Ball played in, edge of the box, tipped out by Miller as he comes down on a Purple Raider. Nothing called, definitely the right decision. Hernandez plays it forward. Hart, the header goes back, still in a dangerous area for Mount Union to work with. The chance curling in, saved by Miller. That shot came from Niles Spann, who has had a couple of good attempts this evening. Spann plays it back. Hart. A lot of Mount Union's players now go behind Fields in net to warm up. It looks like we will have a lot of changes being made. Good pace on the far side as the ball is hit out. And Heidelberg will make a change in the meantime as the man from Madrid, Spain, Iñigo Jocinhos, subs out. Miller lines up, sends the ball up pitch on a knuckle. Slovic going back to keep it out of Mount Union's possession, and he hits it off of a Purple Raider. Played forward, sprinting towards the ball is Hoback as it goes out of play. Hoback, 1 goal so far this year. I believe that was back in a game that I called. It could have been against Allegheny. I'm pretty sure that was the game that he scored. I could be wrong. It was a late goal. It had to be that Allegheny game. I could be wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain that was the game that he scored in. But today he looks for another one, or at a minimum just to see this game out, as they have looked really good today. They have done their job and they are well on their way to a victory. Mount Union winners of 4 straight heading in. The last time they lost was in Grand Rapids on September 21st against Calvin, a 5-1 loss. A lot of shots being taken, but Calvin the more clinical team. After that, a 2-0 victory over Worcester, a 2-2 draw at Case, an impressive result, and then wins at Otterbein, John Carroll, Wilmington, and Muskegum with a result of 2-1, 2-0, 1-0, and 5-1 respectively. After or before the loss to Calvin, a 3-2 win over Franciscan, a 2-1 win over Hampton-Sydney, and then a loss at number 4, Mary Washington. They play a lot of good teams, Mount Union. That is a given. 2 of their 3 losses have come against ranked opponents this year for a reason. Here's a chance to make it 8. Ball heads back. Hoback takes it. Fighting forward. Goes to ground. No whistle. The only non-ranked opponent they lost to this year was Calvin, who can definitely make a case to be ranked at the end of this season in a few sports, as they have looked really good this year across the board. Their volleyball team, one of the better teams in Division III. And we do have a stoppage for injury, as the clock will stop with 18:28 left to go. The next game that I will be calling for Mount Union comes on Wednesday, as Mount Union hosts Baldwin Wallace in a volleyball clash. It will be a 7 p.m. first set at the Timken Gymnasium. After that, Saturday, I am back behind the mic at 1 p.m. at the MAC as the Purple Raiders play host to Ohio Northern. And then after that, one final home volleyball game coming on November 2nd as the Purple Raiders welcome in Capital at 1 p.m. To stay up to date on all of the athletic events at Mount Union, follow the Mount Union Purple Raider athletic account on Instagram and on Twitter. And along with that, you can follow them on Facebook and connect with the university on LinkedIn. Play to the edge of the box, a chance. goes through the uprights and out of play. Additionally, after this game, I will be conducting some post-game interviews, not live on the broadcast, but ones that will be posted later. So once again, follow the Mount Union Purple Raider account on Instagram along with Mount Union Men's Soccer to see those interviews once they are posted, hopefully this evening, but if not tonight, they will be posted early tomorrow morning. Miller sends it up the pitch. Bounces back and a turn. A good play here from Kosin. Hernandez turns, looks for help. Beautiful ball into Niles Spann. Spann takes the shot and scores! Niles Spann, a beautiful run into the 18-yard box on the pass from Hernandez as he slots it home, scoring for the 4th time this year. He has come close on numerous occasions this evening, but finally, number 24 finds the back of the net. Spann has been good tonight, and with that goal, he becomes the 8th separate goal scorer for Mount Union. Depperschmidt, Hancock, Spedick, Amir Spratt, Cody Lumley, Niles Spann, Keen McCauley. Those are your goal scorers. Beautiful distribution of wealth by Mount Union. A lot of guys getting involved, a lot of talents getting on the pitch tonight. This is the definition of an all-out team win. That ball cleared out of play and out of the facility. It hit off the awning and it goes outside the stadium. Mount Union looking for 9. A slight trip up at the edge of the box. Squared in. Heidelberg defending nicely, and the Student Princes are able to clear their lines for the time being. Ahebwa able to send the ball up pitch. A good battle right in front of Heidelberg's bench goes in favor of the Student Princes as it goes out for a Heidelberg throw. Sends up but out of play. 16 minutes left to go in tonight's senior night clash. Mount Union up 8-0 over Heidelberg. 8 different goal scorers and a tremendous night for the Purple Raiders. And a whole army of white jerseys looks set to sub in for the Purple Raiders. Lots of cheers from Mount Union's fans as we see the changes being made. A lot of players coming off the pitch. A whole cohort coming in for the Purple Raiders. It looks like this might be the crew that sees the game out. I like the move. A lot of the seniors come off, some come on. You're able to give them one last run in as a class together. Most likely after tonight, you're not going to be able to see all the seniors on the pitch at the same time. That ball goes out for a Heidelberg goal kick. With this win, Mount Union will have taken down Heidelberg in men's soccer, volleyball, and football today. So shout out to all 3 programs for their wins today. It's been a good day for Mount Union Athletics, and they look to take that momentum into the week against the likes of Baldwin Wallace on Wednesday and Ohio Northern on Saturday, along with other sports. Swimming just getting underway. Wrestling, they had their inter-squad matchup on Thursday. Winter sports, they are starting to get underway. We're still in the fall season, but those winter sports they're starting to sneak up on us a little bit. And then, like I mentioned before, you will have men's volleyball, which I don't even know if it classifies as a winter or spring sport. It starts in like mid-January and ends in maybe early April. It's a weird time frame. So it's a pseudo-winter spring sport, if you will. It's a combination of both. But still, a lot of good to happen this year at Mount Union. And who can forget basketball? There will be a showcase for the women the first weekend of the season on November 9th and 10th. And boys basketball, they will have their home opener at 12 p.m. on November 8th. That's a Friday. It's going to be an exciting game. Interesting to see how many people are there given the obscure time of the start. That attempt not going to happen as Spedic tried to launch from the edge of the box but could not connect. Spedic takes it back. Polizga behind, takes it. And dished back. Mount Union playing the possession game as they look to see this one out. Sigro on the wing. Far side, Polizga making a run into some space. Mount Union thought about finding him. Instead, it goes to Matthew Logan, the freshman from United High School. Down the wing, numbers getting open. Play to the edge of the box. Dished central, Hancock fighting for it, and it's won back by the Student Princes. Sigro, Kabi Ramadani. Dished back to Spedic. Falcone goes to the far side as the seniors are preparing for their final moments together on the pitch. Polizga will take the throw after the ball gets headed out of play by a Student Prince. Mount Union up 8, could potentially go for goal number 9. Ramadani cuts, looking for help. Beautiful ball forward, intercepted by Heidelberg. And the ball will go just to the edge of the box. It appears maybe an offside or a foul, but either way, Heidelberg will have a free kick. Pinged forward, Polizga going for the ball in the air. Mount Union, a little bit of miscommunication, but the ball will settle with the Purple Raiders. Pinged forward, Hancock on his horse, catches up. Here come the Purple Raiders trying to make it 9. And they cannot as it goes out of play. Good hustle on that far side from Carter Hancock, creating the opportunity as it goes out for a corner. Credit to both sides. They are giving it their all, even though Mount Union will go on and win this match. Both sides know that, but they are still hustling up and down the pitch, trying to make plays. You have to respect the effort from both sides. And it's a goal off the corner for the Purple Raiders. It appears that that goal comes from Sam Falcone, as that gives the Purple Raiders their 9th. Beautifully set up by the Purple Raiders as the set piece goal finally comes to life with 10 minutes to go in regulation. The Purple Raiders lead it by 9. A great goal for Mount Union. Perfectly worked, perfectly headed in. Falcone gets himself on the score sheet and becomes the 9th scorer of the game for Mount Union. Headed backward by Spedic, who got the scoring going early in this match for the Purple Raiders. Played out to the wing. The stutter Heidelberg still pressing, looking for an error from Mount Union. Won't get it quite yet, but they do get possession. Polizga unable to trap the ball on the far side. Thrown into the edge of the 6-yard box. Fields goes up and snags it. Mount Union appears to play out from the back once again. Sigro will take it. The Purple Raiders, known for playing out from the back, they are staying true to their identity down the stretch, and that is huge. You're having a lot of players who don't necessarily play together on the pitch at the same time, get used to each other on the fly. They're holding shape, they're holding their identity. You have to give credit to the players and credit to Coach Krebs. He has coached this unit really well, and they are a well-oiled machine. And they're willing to take a hit for the team as Lumby got hit in the face or in the chest, one of the two regions, by a stray ball. He appears to be okay as his toughness prevailing. He had a goal earlier on in this matchup, I believe either around halftime in the first half or just into the second half. Sigro takes it at the 35. Beautiful cross field pass up the pitch. Here's a chance for the Purple Raiders. And a trip at the edge of the box, nothing given. The Purple Raiders still fighting for an opportunity. Played forward and snatched by Miller. Spetic went to ground, and he was appealing his case to the official that he should have been awarded a penalty. Definitely a trip up. The question that I can't answer from this angle, was it all ball? Or did the Heidelberg defender get some of the leg? I'm going to assume it was all ball. The official was right there. If he was from further away, I would say maybe, but it's not going to matter either way. Mount Union up by 9. One more goal, it won't matter. This isn't like the Premier League where goal difference matters. All that matters is, did you beat X, Y, and Z team? Yes, you have the tiebreaker over them when it comes down to settling the standings for the OAC tournament. And that game against ONU will be huge for that. Mount Union pacing, looking for 10. They get 10! Mount Union continues to dominate as senior night now has its cherry on top. A beautiful solo run by the Purple Raiders as that gifts them their 10th goal of the game. They are in double figures for, if I am not mistaken, the first time this season. And that was Carter Hancock, who becomes the first repeat scorer of the game. The most goals before today was the game against Allegheny. I am not taking credit, but both games that I have called play-by-play, Mount Union has scored a combined 16 goals. Maybe they're playing because I'm here. I don't know. Joking aside, this has been a great performance from Mount Union. Hopefully, I will be able to see the team on October 30th against Marietta. We will see what happens there. But if not, we've had a lot of great action this year distributed amongst myself, Will, and a few other commentators who have stepped into the booth. I assume you will have him back for the Marietta game on the 30th and a couple of the girls' games that are home still to finish out this season. It's been a tremendous season. Got to call a couple games with him thus far. It's been a fun year calling soccer. My main sport that I've done at Mount Union thus far has been volleyball, but when I'm able to, I enjoy coming over to Kara Stadium and calling a few men's and women's soccer games. It's been an enjoyable year, and I am looking forward to the winter ahead as we have men's and women's basketball. Might go out to a couple of wrestling meets to take pictures, maybe call one. There's a chance that I will be on the call for Top Gun at Alliance High School, so if the opportunity presents itself, I couldn't use the practice calling wrestling as I've called one wrestling match in my career thus far. But we'll save that conversation for November and December. Ground ball taken. Mount Union fighting to keep it away from Heidelberg. Aikens, far side, his first touches of the game. played forward. Good defense by Heidelberg as it goes out of play for a corner. Once again, follow Mount Union on their social media platforms along with Mount Union Men's Soccer to see the post-game interviews that I will conduct at the conclusion of this contest. They won't be live, but rather uploaded later on social media, whether it be tonight or tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for those. Looking forward to talking to a few key players from this game, as a lot of players made an impact on senior night tonight, as Mount Union scored the most goals they have in a game this season. Shipped forward, Akins is through, but the flag denies him. It was a good run, but definitely mistimed by Akins. Once again, it's the little things in the playoffs that will matter. This game, Mount Union, they had wrapped up early on. Now, when they watch the film, they will go back and say, hey, we did a lot good in this game. We need to continue working on the things we didn't do well. Even if they have to nitpick, they need to find a couple of things that they can say, hey, we can do better. The best teams always find one or two things, and Coach Krems, he knows that. He is accustomed to getting the best out of these players, and to his credit and to the players' credit, he has done that well this season, and that is a huge reason why the Purple Raiders will walk away from this game 11-3-1 with an 8-0 home record in hand. Down the wing to the corner flag. Heidelberg tries to keep it in play, but cannot do so. Once again, looking at the Student Princes, if they can build on this freshman and sophomore core, they will have a chance to be good in a few years. They just need to build and reload. Get some talented classes in. Looking at the high school class of 2025 and 2026, recruit there, get some top talents in, and that will pay dividends for them in the future. Whistle will blow as there's a chance we see our first card of the game, and it appears we won't. I didn't think we would, but you never know. It's late. It could be seen as an unnecessary tackle. It's all up to the discrepancy of the official. He didn't see anything wrong with it more than just being a foul, and that was the call, and I agree. Ramadani plays it up. A beautiful ball in for Hancock. He has a chance for his hat trick. Carter Hancock squares it, and the goal. A selfless play from Carter Hancock gives Mount Union their 11th. Unless they're calling it offside, it remains at 10, and it appears the flag has been raised at the death. Mount Union denied their 11th, but Carter Hancock, regardless of the goal counting or not, a selfless play from him. That ball goes out of play for a Mount Union throw. 2 minutes left to go in regulation. The Purple Raiders will be back in action Wednesday at Baldwin Wallace as they take on the Yellow Jackets at George Finney Stadium. As for Heidelberg, they will be on the road in University Heights, Ohio to take on John Carroll. It's a 7 p.m. kickoff against the Blue Streaks. Once again, for Mount Union, to stay up to date on all things related to Mount Union sports, follow Mount Union on their athletic pages on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Akins played forward, a chance for 11. Akins, body to the ground at the edge of the box, and play on is called. He can't believe it, and you hear a late groan from the Mount Union faithful. Akins still on the ground. I don't know. There's a chance they didn't get any ball. Either way, that is the call that was given. It's not going to matter with 45 seconds left to go. Mount Union settling the ship. Akins attempting to be found forward. Ramadani goes down, and nothing will be given except the throw-in, it appears. 20 seconds left to go. A great all-around performance by Mount Union. Senior night could not have gone any better for the Purple Raiders. The clock winding down. The countdown has been started. One last effort for the Purple Raiders, and it goes wide. As the horn sounds, Mount Union dominates on senior night, taking down Heidelberg by a final score of 10-0. What a job by the Purple Raiders to win it for the class of 2025. That will do it from Kara Stadium. Once again, follow Mount Union on their athletic pages and follow men's soccer to see my post-game interviews that I will conduct momentarily. But with that, that does it from Kara Stadium. Mount Union 10-0 victors on senior night. I have been Nathan Smith. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us in Alliance. And as always, go Purple Raiders.